Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thanks so much for stopping by. Definitely take a look around. Let me know what you think. Today we're going to be talking about Disney Mirrorverse, and we're going to be talking about Kermit and Raya. This should have come out a week ago. I'm catching up on some stuff, but we got some good things to talk about the two. Are they good? Which one's better than the other? Is one better than the other? I don't know. We'll talk about it. But first, before we do, if you're just now finding this channel and you want to stay up to date with this and other games, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, and welcome back. First and foremost, I apologize for how long it's taking to get videos out. Work has just been super busy. If you've been keeping an eye on the community tab on my channel or on Discord, you know work has just been really slowing me down. So I haven't been able to get the videos out that I have wanted to, so I am playing a little bit of catch up. This video should have came out last week. Getting it out tonight. Want to take a look at Raya and Kermit and see if they're good, at least on paper. Do you have these characters? If so, definitely leave us some of your feedback in the comment section below. Very curious on some of your early thoughts. And are they working for you in the raid? We're going to talk about that a little bit as well. So let's just take a look at these two just kind of on the surface here. These are max level stats that we're looking at. I don't have either one of them unlocked just yet. But if you just take a look at the stats, Kermit comes out ahead. I mean, his health, his defense, his attack is all higher than Raya's. So right off the bat, just scaled, right? We're going to see at max stats that he's going to perform a little bit better as far as stats go. Now, his crit, his focus is a little bit lower than Raya's, but not by much. Not by much. So I know it'll take a long time to get him up to Astral 10, but let's take a look at their kits. When we take a look at Raya and you compare her to Kermit, they are meant for, I feel they're meant for two different things. Raya really is meant for boss, just because of some benefits that she gets when she goes up against the boss. We'll talk about that here in a second. And I think Kermit could actually have a decent role for boss battles, but I think really when we take a look at raids, maybe even more of a benefit in the Sentinel battles. So let's just take a look at this. If we take a look at her warrior focus, when I look at the kit too, it just, between her abilities and her talents, there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect there. So with this right here, so her basic attack here, so when she hits with her basic attack, there's a 20% chance to get a focus buff. That max stacks at 3. Her heavy attack hits twice, does 150% damage. That second hit causes a knockback. When Raya holds her heavy attack, she gains a 10% focus buff for 10 seconds. So a lot of focus stuff here, which I think is cool, and that comes to play with her talents. If she's knocked back, she loses all of her focus buffs, so we got to be careful of that. Now her special here gains 5% attack buff for each focus buff that she has, so the ones that she gives herself as well as ones that she gets from other allies as well. So she's going to be able to have that crit potential. Raya flies towards her target, dealing 400% damage and inflicting knockback. That doesn't really help with the boss. That could help with some of the other ones, but that's what I'm talking about here. Some of these things with the knockback and things like that, and the stun and all that, isn't really going to help with the boss. Now you can root the boss and things like that, the raid boss, but I don't think you can knock back, and I don't think that you can stun. But when we take a look at her signature ability here, so attack buffs from her special ability gets an additional percentage of attack as you increase this. Raya deals additional 300% damage with her special ability, which is nice. And then her special ability deals increased damage the further Raya is from her target, which is kind of cool. So you can get up to an additional 200% damage there. So you're at 500% damage, which is pretty nice. Now, in the boss battle, though, you're not going to be spending a lot of time far away. Most of the time, you're going to be right up there in the mix, right in front of the boss. So why do I keep talking about the boss so much? Let's take a look at the talents. You've got some basic talents here that gives you focus and attack buffs. If we take a look at this one here, so at the start of each combat, she gains a 25% focus buff. That's great at the very beginning of the combat. That's not the whole battle. That's each individual combat, which is nice. If we take a look at the next one here, practice moves. Focus buffs and attack buffs granted by Raya's abilities are 5 seconds longer, which is nice. You definitely want those. So that's one that you definitely want. Surprising strike. Raya's critical strikes inflict a minus 20% focus debuff. I wouldn't go for that one. Really, I would go for those practice moves and the focusing pause there. Okay, because you're getting that 30-second focus buff. You're also getting an increase to that focus buff on this one right here. And then when we take a look at her elite talent right here, Raya deals an additional 30% damage to bosses, and then Raya resists 5% damage from the boss, which is nice. Does that mean she's strictly boss focused? No. This one talent here, I think, really helps if you want to take her into those boss battles. This one with those two other talents we were talking about to increase the amount of damage you can do. Otherwise, you knock this out, you go ahead and put the other one up there. She can probably take care of the trash mobs, things like that, for the minion battles and for the other battles where you have more than one enemy on the screen. But I think I haven't been able to test her in raids yet, so if any of you have been able to, definitely let me know. Let me know what you think. I think she's going to be pretty decent. I don't think she's going to replace anger for me, though. I'll tell you that. I don't think that she would replace anger for me. But I got to do some more testing there. Also, one thing I didn't mention, but there will be gameplay footage at the end of this video of both Raya and Kermit, so you can kind of see some gameplay footage on going on one-on-one stuff. Now, if we take a look at Kermit, I like Kermit. Between the two of them, I prefer Kermit. Let's take a look at abilities really quick. So Rainbow Connection, I think, is nice. When Kermit hits his target with a heavy attack, creates that rainbow connection between him and his allies, which grants 25% attack and lasts for 8 seconds, which is nice, or until he's stunned. Now, once he gets stunned, if he gets stunned and it's removed that way, then that has a 10-second cooldown. With the special ability here, grants Kermit's allies 2% Swamp Song buff. Now, he's got a talent that will increase that, which is nice, for 8 seconds and refreshes Rainbow Connections timer. So what is that? This is really cool. Now, right here, grants a percentage of a hit point damage dealt to the attacker as health, right? When damaging a target with basic, heavy, and special attacks. So as you're attacking, you're gaining health based on the amount of damage that you're doing, which is nice. And it's not just for himself, but it's for his team. So he's got a nice support role here. Now, Kermit then deals 400% damage to his current target and then inflicts knockback. I think he'd be really, really good. This is why I think he'd be awesome for the Sentinel battles and the Minion battles, because of the synergy that he has with his team. And it's not trait-based synergy. It's just whoever's on his team, which I think is nice. If we go to Inspiring Vigor, Kermit's Rainbow Connection grants an additional 25% attack. Also, while the Rainbow Connection is active, non-controlled Guardians deal basic attacks 50% faster. That is huge as well. So, obviously, you want to control Kermit, and then your allies are just going to be able to attack faster. They attack faster, which means they do more damage. And also, you got that Rainbow Connection. You're giving that attack buff. There's a lot of cool things that Kermit does. Now, if we take a look at talents, you got your basics again. So we're doing some attack buffing there. We're doing some health buffing there. Now, dazing solo right here. When Kermit uses his special ability while the Rainbow Connection is active, he has a 100% chance to stun enemies in a small area around him. Again, when you're in, and it's not just raids, but when you're in tower, when you're in dungeon, things like that, and you got a bunch of mobs around you, there's an opportunity to stun them, which I think is great. So definitely want to use that one. Battle Ballad here. While the Rainbow Connection is active, Kermit's basic attacks have a 25% chance to grant a 5% attack buff that lasts for 10 seconds to his allies. I think that is great as well. Encore here. Now, his special ability deals an additional 100% damage to his target for every other ally in Rainbow Connection. All three of these, I think, are really, really good. So I would just test them and play around with them and see which one works best for you. And then if we take a look, obviously we have this one, his elite talent, which I always suggest elite talents get used. But this is the one that increases the Swamp Song buff there by 1%. And then healing granted by other allies, so you got another support there, is stronger while you have that Rainbow Connection. So there's just a lot of cool stuff with Kermit. I love his design. I love everything that they did with him. I mean, look at this. He's just awesome. He's very cool. Raya's cool too. I'm not as much of a fan of her as I am with Kermit. But that doesn't mean that she can't do well. So I just think her kit's a little disjointed for me. And I think the Kermit kit, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's pretty cool. So that is what I had for you. Those are my thoughts. Very curious on your thoughts. We don't have Kermit out yet. Kermit's going to be here very shortly. Unless you unlocked him in the crystal. I got both of the crystals out of the event store, and I did not unlock him. But very curious on your thoughts. Have you unlocked him? And if you have, what's your feedback on him? And what do you think of Raya if you have her? All right, everybody, that's what I had for you. Just wanted to kind of go over their kits, talk about them, give you my thoughts on their kits and where I think they would best be used. Now I'm going to leave you with the gameplay footage so you can kind of check them out as well. All right, everybody, as always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the video.